Captain James Walker stood on the bridge of the EDF Defender, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The coffee in his cup had gone cold hours ago. No one on the bridge had eaten or slept since the strange objects appeared near Jupiter's orbit 36 hours ago. "Status update," James said, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at his gut. Officer Lisa Reed looked up from her console. "Sir, the objects are definitely ships. We count 23 large vessels and numerous smaller craft. They're moving in formation toward Mars." James nodded. Humanity had only recently established its first real colonies on Mars and the Moon. These were mankind's first steps into the solar system. Now, unknown visitors had arrived, and they weren't responding to any attempts at communication. "Message from Earth Command," Communications Officer Dan Miller announced. "All military vessels are to maintain position. First contact protocols are in effect." James frowned. First contact protocols meant no aggressive actions, but something about the alien fleet's movement didn't feel right. They were spreading out, taking positions that looked more military than diplomatic. "Sir," Lisa's voice rose in alarm. "Energy readings from the alien vessels. They're—" A flash of light cut her off as the nearest research station exploded. The bridge crew watched in horror as the alien ships fired on every human installation near Jupiter. "Battle stations," James ordered. "Send emergency alert to Earth Defense Force. We are under attack." The EDF Defender was just one ship, but James wasn't going to watch humanity's outposts be destroyed without a fight. As the ship moved to engage, more alerts flooded in. The aliens weren't just attacking the outer system. They had sent smaller, faster ships directly toward Earth. In the United Defense Council chamber beneath Geneva, Admiral Kate Thompson watched the holographic display with growing horror. The alien ships had bypassed Earth's orbital defenses using technology that seemed to bend space itself. Now they were in Earth's atmosphere, targeting military bases and power stations. "Casualties?" she asked, her voice tight. "Conservative estimate is 2 million in the first wave," General Harris answered, his face ashen. "They're hitting population centers now." The doors burst open as President Robert Mason entered with his security team. "Tell me we have a response ready," he demanded. Kate nodded grimly. "We've analyzed their attack pattern. Their weapons are powerful, but their defenses show a weakness when they fire. We've modified our nuclear delivery systems to target these weaknesses." "Then do it," the president ordered. "Save who we can." Kate turned to her command console and entered the authorization codes. Across Earth, hidden missile silos opened. The counterattack had begun. Dr. Tom Reed hadn't signed up for war. He was a physicist working on shield technology at the Luna base. Now he was frantically trying to understand the alien technology from the few sensor readings they had. "Look at this energy pattern," he told his team, pointing at the screen. "Their shields operate on a frequency rotation. There's a millisecond gap when they switch frequencies." His colleague, Dr. Anna Lee, nodded quickly. "If we could time our weapons to hit during that gap." "Exactly," Tom said, already sending the data to Earth Defense. "It's not much, but it might give us a chance." The alien commander, who called himself Vex Prime, was pleased with the initial assault. These humans were primitive, just as their scouts had reported. Their weapons barely scratched the Vex ship's shields, and their communications were in disarray. "Begin landing operations," he ordered. "Secure their resource centers and communication hubs. Any resistance is to be eliminated." His second-in-command looked troubled. "Prime, our scouts reported that these humans are unusually violent with each other. Perhaps we should—" "They are pre-space." Vex Prime dismissed the concern. "Their internal conflicts make them weak and divided. The Galactic Council will thank us for bringing this resource-rich system under control." The alarm sounded before his second-in-command could respond. "Multiple launches detected from the planet's surface." Vex Prime didn't look concerned. "Their primitive missiles can't penetrate our shields. Maintain attack pattern." Admiral Kate watched the missile tracks on her display. The aliens had made a critical mistake. They'd attacked Earth without understanding what humans were capable of. For centuries, humans had fought each other, developing increasingly deadly weapons. Now, facing extinction, all that knowledge was focused on a single enemy. First impact in 10 seconds. her tactical officer announced. The missiles approached the alien ships. As predicted, many were destroyed by the aliens' defensive systems, but Earth had launched hundreds, timed to arrive simultaneously. Some got through. The first explosion bloomed in the atmosphere over North America. An alien ship, hit during its shield's frequency change, erupted in flames and crashed into the ocean. "It worked," someone shouted. Kate leaned forward, her eyes never leaving the display. "Launch the second wave. Target the ships in low orbit first." Captain James Walker's ship was damaged, but still fighting. The EDF Defender had managed to destroy 2 smaller alien vessels using the new targeting data. Now they were moving to support the Earth Defense Forces. "Captain," Lisa called out, "Earth forces are making progress. The aliens are pulling back from low orbit." James allowed himself a small smile. "They didn't expect us to find a weakness so quickly. Sir, we're getting a transmission from Admiral Thompson. All ships are to converge on these coordinates." Dan displayed the target on the main screen. "We're going after their command ship." Vex Prime couldn't believe what was happening. These primitives had somehow identified the shield frequency shifts, something no other species they'd conquered had managed to do so quickly. "We've lost 12 ships," his second reported, fear evident in his voice. "The humans are coordinating their attacks planet-wide. They're targeting our ships during shield transition." "Impossible," Vex Prime hissed. "Increase our attack. Destroy their major cities. Break their will to resist." But it was too late. The humans had found their advantage and were pressing it ruthlessly. A massive barrage of missiles, followed by fighter craft, using the same targeting method, swarmed the Vex flagship. Shields failing? The warning came too late as the bridge exploded around Vex Prime. Within 12 hours of the counterattack beginning, the tide had turned. Earth's combined forces, joined by craft from the Moon and Mars colonies, pressed their advantage. The alien fleet, expecting an easy conquest, found themselves outmaneuvered by humans who had spent their history preparing for war. In the United Defense Council chamber, Admiral Kate Thompson watched as the last large alien vessel attempted to flee the solar system. "Should we pursue?" General Harris asked. Kate considered for a moment, then shook her head. "No. Let one return. Let them bring a message back to whoever sent them." President Mason nodded in agreement. "Prepare a transmission. We'll broadcast it on their frequencies." An hour later, Kate stood before a camera. Her uniform was wrinkled, her face showed exhaustion, but her eyes burned with determination. "This is Admiral Kate Thompson of Earth Defense Force. This message is for those who sent this fleet to attack us. We did not seek this conflict. We did not know of your existence until you attacked without warning or provocation. Now you know of ours." She paused, looking directly into the camera. "This is Earth's first and final warning to all who would threaten us. We did not start this war, but we have ended it. Attack again, and you will be annihilated. We will not show mercy a second time." The message was sent along with detailed footage of the alien fleet's destruction, a warning to whoever had sent them. As the last alien ship limped away toward the stars, humanity began to rebuild, knowing that they were no longer alone in the universe and that the galaxy now knew they were not to be trifled with. Earth had survived first contact, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. The surviving Vex ship limped through space, its engines damaged and life support systems failing. On the command deck, Sub-Commander Rax had taken charge after Vex Prime's death. Half the crew was dead, and the rest were injured. Their mighty attack fleet had been destroyed by a species they had considered primitive. "How long until we reach Council space?" Rax asked, his voice rough from breathing smoke-filled air for hours. 3 days at current speed," the navigation officer replied, "if the engines hold." Rax nodded grimly. He had sent Earth's message and battle records ahead, transmitting them toward Galactic Council headquarters. The Council, an alliance of 12 advanced species, needed to know what had happened and what these humans were capable of. "They will pay," Rax muttered, staring at the stars. "The Council will not let this stand." On the massive space station that served as the Galactic Council headquarters, Council leader Terrius watched the battle recordings for the third time. The large meeting chamber was silent, as the 12 representatives observed the footage of their advanced Vex allies being systematically destroyed by a supposedly pre-space civilization. When the recording ended with Admiral Thompson's warning, Tarius spoke. These humans were judged as pre-space and therefore eligible for resource claiming under our laws. Clearly, this assessment was catastrophically wrong. Representative Nix of the Vex stood, his tall, angular body tense with anger. These humans destroyed our most advanced battle fleet. They killed thousands of our people. They must be punished. Your people attacked without proper study, countered Representative Mila of the Talasi, a species known for their diplomatic skills. Our laws are clear. Full assessment must be completed before any resource claim. The humans have proven dangerous, said Representative Dorn of the militaristic Krell. They found a weakness in Vex shield technology within hours of first contact. Imagine what they could do with more time and access to our technology. The debate grew heated. Some council members wanted to extend diplomatic relations. Others supported the Vex position that humans were too dangerous to allow into interstellar space. Tarius raised his hand for silence. We must approach this carefully. The humans have shown both technical ingenuity and military skill. They are clearly more advanced than our scouts reported. Then we should welcome them to the galactic community, suggested Mila. After they destroyed a council member's fleet? Nix hissed. That would show weakness. Tarius considered. I propose a compromise. We will send a diplomatic mission to Earth with council observers. We will express regret over the unauthorized Vex aggression and offer membership in the Galactic Council. And if they refuse? Asked Dorn. Tarius's expression hardened. Then we will be prepared. Secretly, we will assemble a war fleet, much larger than the Vex force. If diplomacy fails, we will ensure the humans cannot threaten galactic stability. The council voted. The measure passed. Unknown to the council, a human listening post on Pluto had detected the Vex transmission to council headquarters. Earth was already preparing. Admiral Kate Thompson studied the reports in her new office. After the battle, she had been named Earth's defense director, responsible for protecting the entire solar system. Play it again, she told her assistant. The captured alien transmission appeared on screen. Though the language was strange, Earth's best linguists and computers had managed a rough translation. Total defeat. Humans found shield weakness. Request immediate council response. President Robert Mason entered the office, looking grave. What do you think they'll do? Kate turned off the screen. If they're smart, they'll leave us alone. But I doubt that will happen. They seem shocked that we defeated them. My guess is they'll send a bigger force next time. Then we need to be ready, Robert said. The United Nations has approved the expansion of the defense force. Every nation is contributing resources. Good, Kate nodded. We need to strengthen our position in the solar system, more defense platforms around the outer planets, and we need to understand their technology better. Dr. Reed is heading the research team studying the alien wreckage, Robert said. He's already made progress understanding their faster-than-light travel system. Kate stood and walked to the window, looking out at the rebuilt Geneva skyline. Earth had recovered amazingly fast after the attack. Nothing united humans like a common enemy. We need to prepare for either diplomatic contact or another attack, she said. I suspect they'll try talking first, but we'll be ready to attack if we don't agree to their terms. 1 year after the failed invasion, Earth's defenses had improved dramatically. The Moon and Mars colonies were heavily fortified. Asteroid bases provided early warning systems. Shipyards orbiting Earth produced vessels with improved weapons. Based on alien technology, Captain James Walker, now commanding the new flagship EDF Avenger, led a patrol near Neptune when his sensors officer spotted something. Sir, we have a contact emerging at the edge of the solar system. It's using the same kind of drive signature as the Vex ships. James tensed. Battle stations, alert Earth defense. But this ship was different, smaller, with less obvious weapons. It broadcast on multiple frequencies. Attention, people of Earth. This is Ambassador Lauren of the Talasi, representing the Galactic Council. We come in peace to establish diplomatic relations. The diplomatic mission arrived at Earth 1 month later, after careful scanning and escort through the solar system. Ambassador Lauren, a tall being with pale blue skin and 4 arms, led a delegation of various alien species into the United Nations headquarters in New York. The Galactic Council extends greetings to humanity, Lauren said through a translator device. We express our sincere regret for the unauthorized Vex aggression against your world. The Vex acted without Council approval, a serious violation of our laws. President Mason kept his expression neutral. We appreciate your regret, Ambassador. However, the attack cost millions of human lives. Lauren bowed slightly. We understand your anger. The Council offers reparations and, more importantly, knowledge exchange. We would like to invite Earth to join the Galactic Council as a developing member. Knowledge exchange? Admiral Thompson asked from her seat beside the President. Yes. Lauren smiled. Faster than light travel, medical technology, energy production, we have much to offer. The human delegation looked at each other. It was a tempting offer. We will consider your proposal, President Mason said finally. In the meantime, you are welcome to stay as our guests. Later, in a secure meeting room, Admiral Thompson voiced her concerns. I don't trust them. Why offer us technology now? They must have known about us before the Vex attacked, Dr. Tom Reed agreed. And our deep space telescopes have detected unusual activity at the edge of our scanning range. Large energy signatures consistent with a gathering fleet. President Mason frowned. So they offer friendship while preparing for war? It looks that way, Kate said. They're buying time. Then we'll play along, Robert decided. Accept their diplomatic mission, take their technology, but accelerate our military buildup. I recommend we carefully study anything they give us, Tom suggested. There could be backdoors or weaknesses built into their technology, things they could exploit later. Kate nodded. Smart thinking. We'll set up a special research team. Nothing gets implemented without complete security checks. As Earth's leaders planned their strategy, Ambassador Lauren reported to the Council. The humans have accepted our diplomatic presence. They seem eager for technology exchange. Council Leader Terrius nodded. Good. Continue as planned. How long until the fleet is ready? 6 more months, Representative Dorn reported. It will be the largest battle force ever assembled. The humans will never know what hit them, Nick said with satisfaction. But on Earth, humans were preparing for the worst while hoping for peace. The warning had been given. If the aliens attacked again, Earth would be ready. 6 months into the diplomatic mission, Ambassador Lauren toured the new Earth Defense Headquarters in Geneva. The sleek building had been constructed on the site of the old facility, which had been damaged during the Vex attack. President Robert Mason walked beside her, pointing out features with practiced ease. And this is our main command center, Robert said as they entered a large room filled with screens and busy personnel. Lauren looked impressed. Your reconstruction has been remarkably fast. The Vex attack caused significant damage, yet you've rebuilt even better than before. Humans are good at recovering from disasters, Robert replied with a slight smile. We've had plenty of practice over our history. Admiral Kate Thompson joined them, nodding politely to the alien ambassador. Welcome to Defense Headquarters, Ambassador Lauren. Admiral Thompson? Lauren bowed slightly. Your reputation precedes you. The commander who defeated the Vex fleet is quite famous, even in Council space. Kate's expression remained neutral. I just did my job. Every human fought to protect our world. Of course, Lauren said. Speaking of protection, the Council is prepared to offer defensive technology as part of our exchange program. Our shield systems are far more advanced than what the Vex used. That's very generous, Robert said. We'd be interested in seeing the specifications. As they continued the tour, Kate kept her suspicions hidden. For months, the aliens had been offering technology, much of which seemed too good to be true. Earth accepted everything with gratitude, and then took it apart piece by piece in secure laboratories. In a sealed research facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Tom Reed and his team worked tirelessly. The room was filled with alien technology, commie, systems, shield generators, and data storage devices. "I found another one," Dr. Annalee said, pointing to her screen. "There's a hidden transmission protocol in the communication system. If we had installed this as is, it would have sent regular updates to a council receiver." Tom nodded grimly. "Add it to the list. That makes 17 backdoors we've found so far." He looked at the alien shield generator they'd dismantled. "And this shield system has the same frequency vulnerability the Vex ships had, just better hidden." "They're setting us up," Anna said quietly. "If we'd implemented these systems, we'd be completely exposed when they decide to attack." Tom finished. "The good news is we're learning a lot about how their tech works. We can build our own versions without the vulnerabilities." "How's the FTL drive coming along?" Anna asked. Tom smiled for the first time that day. "That's our biggest breakthrough. We've figured out the basics of their faster-than-light travel. The prototype is being tested next week. If it works, we'll finally be able to build ships that can travel between stars." "Just in time," Anna replied, glancing at the monitor showing deep space telescope feeds. The activity at the edge of the solar system had increased in recent months. Something big was gathering out there. Ambassador Lauren sat alone in her quarters, at the diplomatic compound, recording her private report to the council. "The humans continue to be cooperative. They've accepted most of our technology offerings, and appear to be implementing them into their defense systems. Their gratitude seems genuine, though Admiral Thompson remains cautious." She paused, considering her next words carefully. "However, I must express concern about their rate of technological adaptation. They're advancing much faster than projected. In just 6 months, they've made leaps that should take years. It's as if they already understand the underlying principles, and are merely filling in gaps in their knowledge." Another pause. "I recommend accelerating our timetable. If the humans continue at this pace, the technological advantage of our fleet may be reduced." She ended the recording and encrypted it for transmission. As a diplomat, she had no desire for another war, but her duty to the council came first. She didn't know that human intelligence agents were monitoring her transmissions, despite the encryption. In a secure meeting room, Earth's leadership gathered to discuss the latest developments. Military commanders, scientists, and political leaders sat around a large table with Admiral Thompson standing at the front. "Our deep space monitoring stations have detected increased activity," Kate reported. "The alien fleet is nearly assembled. Based on energy signatures, we estimate over 2,000 ships." Murmurs spread through the room. President Mason looked grim. "Timeline? At their current pace of preparation, they could attack within 3 months," Kate answered. Dr. Tom Reed spoke next. "We've completed analysis of all shared alien technology. Every piece contains hidden weaknesses or monitoring systems. Had we implemented them as provided, our entire defense network would be compromised." "Have the aliens realized we're onto them?" asked General Harris. "We don't believe so," Kate said. "We've created convincing decoys that appear to be operational, versions of their technology. Ambassador Lauren and her team have been shown these systems during their tours." "What about our own preparations?" Robert asked. Tom displayed a hologram of a sleek spacecraft. "This is the EDF Pathfinder, our first FTL-capable vessel. It successfully completed its maiden voyage last week, traveling to the Alpha Centauri system and back in just under 2 days." The room erupted in applause. This was a major milestone. Humanity was now truly a spacefaring species. "We've begun production of 20 more ships with the same drive system," Tom continued. "Additionally, we've developed our own shield technology based on what we learned from the alien tech, but without the vulnerabilities." "And our special project?" Kate asked. Tom smiled. "Project Sunspot is operational. All defense platforms have been retrofitted with the new weapon system." Robert nodded with satisfaction. "Then we're as ready as we can be. Continue with the diplomatic mission. Let the aliens think their plan is working. Meanwhile, finalize our defense positions throughout the solar system." 1 month later, Ambassador Lauren requested a meeting with President Mason. In the Oval Office, she presented a formal document. The Galactic Council is pleased to extend full membership status to Earth, she said. This agreement would integrate your world into our collective security and trade networks. It also includes advanced technology transfers beyond what we've already shared. Robert examined the document carefully. This is quite generous, Ambassador. However, there's a section here about limiting military development and accepting Council oversight of defense systems. Lauren nodded. Standard procedure for new members. The Council must ensure galactic stability. I see, Robert said neutrally. We'll need time to review this proposal with our full government. Of course, Lauren smiled. The Council hopes for your positive response within 2 weeks. After she left, Robert called an emergency meeting. They're moving up their timetable. The ambassador just handed me what amounts to a demand for our surrender, disguised as a membership offer. Kate wasn't surprised. The deep space arrays detected increased activity last night. The alien fleet is on the move. How long do we have? Robert asked. At their current speed, they'll reach the edge of our solar system in 10 days, Kate replied. Robert's expression hardened. Then we have 10 days to finish our preparations. Implement Operation Hidden Shield immediately. Across the solar system, humans prepared for the coming battle. Unlike the first attack, Earth would not be caught by surprise. Hidden throughout the solar system, defense platforms, stealth ships, and weapon systems waited in silence. The false peace was ending. The real test of humanity's survival was about to begin. The massive alien fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system, exactly as Earth's deep space sensors had predicted. Over 2,000 ships of various sizes emerged from faster-than-light travel, their formations spreading out to encircle the solar system. In the Council flagship, Grand Admiral Dorn of the Krell species stood on the command deck, watching tactical displays with satisfaction. As the military leader of the Galactic Council forces, he had spent months planning this operation. All ships have arrived and report ready for combat, his second-in-command announced. Excellent, Dorn replied. His reptilian features showed no emotion, but inwardly he felt pride at commanding the largest battle fleet ever assembled. Send the message to Earth as planned. Minutes later, the transmission reached Earth. People of Earth, this is Grand Admiral Dorn of the Galactic Council Combined Fleet. Your planet has been deemed a threat to galactic stability. You will immediately surrender all military capabilities and accept permanent Council monitoring or face extinction. You have 6 hours to comply. In Earth Defense Headquarters, President Robert Mason and Admiral Kate Thompson watched the message together. Either seemed surprised or particularly worried. Right on schedule, Kate remarked. Robert nodded. Are all systems ready? Operation Hidden Shield is fully operational, Kate confirmed. Defense platforms are powered down to avoid detection. The fleet is in position behind the sun. All colonies have activated their shield systems, and Ambassador Loren, under close observation at the diplomatic compound, she seems genuinely distressed by the arrival of the fleet. It's possible she wasn't fully informed of the Council's true intentions. Robert took a deep breath. Then it's time. Prepare our response to Admiral Dorn. The 6-hour deadline was almost up when Earth's response came. Every screen on the Council flagship lit up with the image of President Mason. Grand Admiral Dorn, we have received your ultimatum. Earth rejects your demands. We warned your people. Once before, attack Earth again, and you will be annihilated. That warning stands. We did not seek this conflict, but we are prepared to end it. For the sake of all species involved, I urge you to withdraw your forces immediately. Dorn laughed, a harsh sound that made his officers flinch. Brave words from a primitive species. Begin the attack as planned. Target their outer defense systems first. The Council fleet moved forward, entering the Kuiper Belt at the edge of the solar system. Their long-range sensors showed minimal resistance. Ahead, just as their intelligence had indicated, the humans' defenses appeared concentrated around Earth, Mars, and the Moon. They've fallen for it completely, Dorn told his command staff. Our technology backdoors have blinded their sensor systems. They can't see our approach until we're already at their doorstep. What Dorn didn't know was that Earth's apparent vulnerability was carefully crafted deception. As the alien fleet passed Pluto's orbit, Admiral Thompson gave her first order. Activate Kuiper Belt Defense Grid. Throughout the frozen outer reaches of the solar system, hundreds of automated defense platforms hidden on asteroids and small moons powered up. Built using Earth's own technology rather than the compromised alien systems, these platforms were invisible to the Council fleet's sensors. The first wave of missiles struck the alien ships before they realized they were under attack. Dozens of vessels exploded or lost power. On the Council flagship, alarms blared. "We're under attack," an officer shouted. "Multiple missile launches from everywhere." Dorn recovered quickly from his surprise. "Return fire. Destroy those platforms." B. Council ships fired back, destroying many of the defense platforms, but more damage had been done than Dorn realized. Nearly 100 of his ships were already disabled or destroyed. "Continue the advance," he ordered. "This is just a delaying tactic. Their main forces are still near Earth." As the alien fleet approached Neptune, they encountered the second layer of Earth's defenses. Stealth ships hidden in the gas giant's atmosphere emerged, firing specialized weapons designed by Dr. Tom Reed. These weapons targeted the alien shield's frequency vulnerability, the same weakness that had defeated the Vex, but now refined and more effective. Council ships began falling in greater numbers. Dorn watched in growing concern as his fleet took unexpected losses. "How did they know we were coming?" his second-in-command asked. "Our plan was perfect." "They've been playing us," Dorn realized. "The technology we shared, they must have found the back doors." Despite the setbacks, the Council fleet pushed forward. They still outnumbered Earth's forces. By the time they reached Mars orbit, they had lost nearly 30% of their ships, but remained a formidable threat. "Prepare for the final approach to Earth," Dorn commanded. "All remaining ships maximum firepower. We will overwhelm their defenses through sheer force." In Earth Defense Headquarters, Admiral Thompson watched the tactical display with intense focus. The alien fleet had taken significant damage, but was still dangerously powerful. "They're approaching Mars orbit," her tactical officer reported. "Moving into formation for the final assault." Kate nodded. "It's time. Signal the Sun Fleet." Across the room, President Mason watched as the display updated, showing new ship signatures appearing from behind the sun. This was Earth's masterstroke. Hundreds of ships hidden on the far side of the sun, shielded from alien detection. "Sun Fleet reports ready," the communications officer announced. "Captain Walker awaits your command." "Tell him to execute attack. Pattern Omega," Kate ordered, "and activate Project Sunspot." On the bridge of the EDF Avenger, Captain James Walker received the order and turned to his crew. "This is it, people. Remember your training. For Earth." The Sun Fleet moved with surprising speed, using gravity assists to slingshot around the sun and attack the alien fleet from behind. At the same time, Earth's orbital defenses powered up, revealing far more firepower than the aliens had expected. Grand Admiral Dorn stared in disbelief as his tactical display showed hundreds of Earth ships appearing behind his fleet. "Impossible," he growled. "Where did they get so many vessels?" "Admiral," his sensor officer called out in panic. "Energy spike from Earth. They're launching some kind of new weapon." From orbital platforms around Earth, powerful beams of concentrated solar energy, Project Sunspot, fired simultaneously. These weapons used the aliens' own shield technology against them, creating an implosion effect when the shields failed. Entire alien ships collapsed in on themselves. "We're trapped between their fleets," Dorn's second-in-command reported, fear evident in his voice. "Request new orders." Dorn saw his carefully planned attack falling apart. The humans had been prepared at every turn, countering tactics that should have guaranteed victory. "All ships break formation," he ordered. "Retreat to minimum safe distance." For FTL jump. But the damage to many of his ship's engines made escape impossible. Earth forces closed in from all sides. The battle lasted 3 days. By the end, over 80% of the Council fleet was destroyed. The remainder, with damaged FTL drives, could not retreat and were forced to surrender. Grand Admiral Dorn, his flagship crippled and drifting, received the transmission from Earth. President Mason's face appeared on his screen, expression stern, but not triumphant. "Grand Admiral, your forces are defeated. Your remaining ships are surrounded. We offer one chance for surrender. Dorn, proud warrior though he was, recognized defeat. What are your terms? Unconditional surrender of all remaining vessels. Your crews will be treated according to our laws of war. After Dorn agreed, President Mason delivered Earth's message, broadcast, across all known galactic communication channels. To the Galactic Council and all spacefaring civilizations, we warned you once. There will not be a third warning. Attack Earth again, and the species responsible will cease to exist. We did not seek war among the stars, but we will defend ourselves by any means necessary. As the message spread across the galaxy, the balance of power began to shift. Earth was no longer just another world, it was a force to be reckoned with. The Council headquarters was in chaos. Emergency meetings had been called as news of the fleet's defeat spread throughout galactic space. In the main chamber, the representatives of the 12 species argued loudly about what to do next. "This is unprecedented," shouted Representative Nix of the Vex. "No species has ever defeated a full Council fleet. The humans not only defeated us, they captured our ships and crews," added Representative Jor of the Meson. "They now possess our most advanced technology." Council leader Tarius called for order. His normally composed demeanor showed signs of strain. "We must face facts. The operation against Earth has failed catastrophically. Grand Admiral Dorn is a prisoner, along with thousands of our personnel." "What of Ambassador Lauren?" asked Mila of the Talasi, concerned for her fellow diplomat. "She remains on Earth," Tarius replied. "The humans have not harmed the diplomatic mission, though they are restricting their movements." Nix slammed his fist on the table. "We must build another fleet, a larger one. The humans cannot be allowed to defy the Council." Before anyone could respond, an aide rushed into the chamber. "Leaders, we have reports of attacks on Council outposts in 3 different systems." The chamber fell silent. "What kind of attacks?" Tarius asked quietly. "Military strikes, precise and targeted. The attackers destroyed defense systems and weapons facilities, then withdrew. Witnesses describe ships matching human designs but moving faster than should be possible." Tarius closed his eyes briefly. "It has begun. The humans are not waiting for us to attack again. They've taken the war to us." Admiral Kate Thompson stood on the bridge of the EDF Defender, now upgraded with technology reverse engineered from captured alien ships. Through the view screen, she watched as Earth ships emerged from FTL travel near a major Council shipyard. "All ships report ready, Admiral," Captain James Walker said from his position at Tactical. Kate nodded. "Begin the operation. Remember, we target military assets only, no civilian casualties." The Earth fleet moved with precision, launching targeted strikes against the shipyard's defense systems, weapons platforms, and construction bays. The Council forces were caught by surprise, unable to mount an effective defense against the swift, coordinated attack. Within hours, the shipyard was disabled, its capacity to build warships destroyed. The Earth fleet disappeared back into FTL before significant reinforcements could arrive. This was the 3rd such operation in 2 weeks. Earth had studied the maps from captured Council databases and identified key military installations throughout Council space. Each strike weakened the Council's ability to wage war. "Set course for the rendezvous point," Kate ordered. "Prepare for the next target." On Earth, President Robert Mason met with the newly formed Interstellar Strategy Council. Representatives from all Earth nations sat around a large table, along with military leaders and scientists. "The first phase of Operation Defensive Reach has been completed successfully," Robert announced. Admiral Thompson reports that 12 major Council military installations have been neutralized. Their ability to launch another attack against Earth has been severely reduced. "What about the captured aliens?" asked one of the Council members. "They are being treated according to international law," Robert replied. "Dr. Reed has begun discussions with those willing to cooperate, particularly scientists and engineers. We're learning a great deal about Council technology and structure." "And Ambassador Lauren?" "She has requested a meeting. I believe she may be ready to discuss terms." The meeting was interrupted by an urgent message. "Mr. President, we're detecting multiple rebellions in Council space. Several subject worlds have declared independence and are fighting against Council forces. Robert wasn't entirely surprised. It seems our actions have inspired others. The Council's control was already fragile in many systems. This changes the strategic picture, General Harris noted. With internal rebellions to deal with, the Council will be even less able to threaten Earth. Robert nodded thoughtfully. It's time for the next phase. Prepare for my meeting with Ambassador Loren. The Vex homeworld was in panic as Earth ships appeared in orbit. Unlike previous strikes, this wasn't a hit-and-run attack. The entire Earth fleet, now nearly 500 vessels, surrounded the planet. In the Vex High Command Center, military leaders watched in horror as their orbital defenses were systematically disabled. We cannot fight them, the Supreme Commander admitted. Our weapons are ineffective against their shields. A communication request came through on all channels. Admiral Kate Thompson's face appeared on the main screen. People of Vex, your forces attacked Earth without provocation. The Galactic Council, at your urging, attempted to finish what you started. Both attacks failed. Now you face the consequences. The Vex leaders waited for the announcement of their destruction. Instead, Kate continued, Earth does not desire the extinction of your species. We offer terms. Surrender all military assets. Accept restricted technological development under Earth supervision. Withdraw from all conquered worlds in your territory. Meet these conditions, and your planet will be spared. It was not a negotiation. It was an ultimatum. The Supreme Commander looked at his colleagues, then back at the screen. We accept your terms. One by one, Council races faced similar choices as Earth forces appeared at their homeworlds. One by one, they surrendered. 2 years after the defeat of the Council fleet, the galaxy had changed dramatically. The 1,000-year-old Galactic Council was dissolved, its power broken by Earth's targeted campaign and internal rebellions. In its place, Earth proposed the Interstellar Cooperative, a new organization based on principles of sovereignty and mutual defense. Species that had been subjugated by the Council found in humans not conquerors, but liberators. On the 5th anniversary of the first Vex attack, representatives from 27 species gathered on Earth to sign the cooperative charter. The ceremony took place in a grand hall built for the occasion in Geneva. President Mason addressed the assembly. 5 years ago, humanity didn't know we weren't alone in the universe. Then we were attacked, without warning or provocation. We defended ourselves as any species would. He paused, looking at the gathered representatives. But what makes humans different is not just our ability to fight. It's our ability to forge peace after war. We did not seek conflict among the stars, but neither will we accept tyranny. The galaxy has learned that Earth cannot be conquered. Now let it learn that humans make better allies than enemies. Ambassador Loren, now representing her people in the new cooperative, was the first to sign the charter after President Mason. In the years since the war, she had worked tirelessly for peace, recognizing that the old council system had been deeply flawed. The dangerous war, as it will be known in history, has ended, she said to the assembly. What follows is up to all of us. Far beyond the former council territory, Admiral Kate Thompson stood on the bridge of Earth's newest vessel, the EDF Guardian. A fleet of 100 ships patrolled with her, watching the deep space beyond known civilization. Any signals? She asked her sensor officer. Nothing yet, Admiral. All quiet. Kate nodded but remained vigilant. The galaxy was vast, and the Council had been just one power among many possible civilizations. Earth had won its place among the stars, but the universe held many unknowns. Maintain patrol pattern, she ordered. We'll continue watching. Earth had learned a hard lesson. The universe could be hostile, but humanity had proven equal to the challenge. They had not only survived but thrived, transforming from a single isolated world to the center of a new galactic order. As Kate looked out at the stars, she felt both pride and responsibility. Earth had given its warning to the galaxy. Attack, again, and be annihilated. But the dangerous war had shown that humans could be more than just warriors. They could be builders, teachers, and allies. The legacy of the war would be peace, a peace protected by the knowledge that Earth would always stand ready to defend itself and its friends among the stars. The end.
Captain Jack Morgan stood on the bridge of the UES Resilient, watching the stars streak by the main view screen. The ship was humanity's pride, their first true deep space vessel, built for both exploration and diplomacy. After 50 years of slow expansion beyond their solar system, humans were finally ready to meet the Valan Confederacy as equals. Status report, Jack said, his voice calm but firm. All systems running at peak efficiency, Captain, replied First Officer Diane Wells from her station. We'll reach Valan space in 3 days. Jack nodded, satisfied. The mission was simple: establish formal diplomatic relations with the Valan, a species that had been watching human development from afar, but had only recently agreed to official contact. The success of this mission would open new trade routes, technological exchanges, and alliances that Earth desperately needed. What Jack didn't know was that not everyone wanted this mission to succeed. The first sign of trouble came at 300 ship time. Jack was jerked from sleep by the wail of emergency sirens. He grabbed his uniform and was halfway to the bridge before the ship-wide announcement system activated. All hands to emergency stations. Repeat, all hands to emergency stations. This is not a drill. When Jack reached the bridge, chaos greeted him. Warning lights flashed across every console. The main lights flickered, plunging the bridge into darkness before the backup systems kicked in with a dull red glow. Report, Jack demanded as he took his chair. Diane's face was grim in the emergency lighting. We've got cascading system failures across the ship, Captain. Life support is down to 60% and falling. Main reactor is shutting down. Navigation is giving us incorrect readings. How is this possible? Jack asked. Everything was fine 4 hours ago. Before anyone could answer, Chief Engineer Lisa Reed's voice came through on the comm system. Captain, you need to see this. Now. In the engine room, Lisa pointed to her workstation screen. Jack leaned in, squinting at what looked like microscopic machines. What am I looking at, Chief? Nanobots, sir. Thousands of them. They're systematically destroying our systems from the inside out. Lisa wiped sweat from her forehead. The engine room was already getting hot as climate controls failed. They're attacking power conduits, navigation circuits, life support, everything. Sabotage, Jack asked, though he already knew the answer. Lisa nodded. No doubt about it. These aren't random failures. These little bastards were programmed to bring us down. Security Officer Marcus Black appeared at Jack's side, his tablet showing surveillance footage. Captain, I think I found how they got on board. He played a video showing a maintenance worker at Outpost 7, their last stop before heading to Valan space. The worker was accessing a maintenance panel near the main reactor. Who is that? Jack asked. That's the problem, sir. He doesn't exist in our crew manifest or station records, and he's nowhere on the ship now. Jack felt a cold realization sweep over him. Can we neutralize these nanobots? Lisa shook her head. Not with what we have on board. They're using technology I've never seen before. By the time we figure it out, she didn't need to finish her sentence. Back on the bridge, the situation was deteriorating rapidly. Oxygen levels were dropping throughout the ship. The main reactor was now operating at just 15% capacity. Navigation systems showed them drifting off course, heading into an unmapped region of space. Communications, keep trying emergency channels, Jack ordered. Someone must be in range. Communications Officer Alex Foster worked frantically at his station. Sir, I'm picking up something, but it's not on any of our frequencies. He adjusted some settings. It's encrypted, but our systems are managing a rough translation. Jack moved to the comm station as Alex put the transmission on speaker. The voice was distinctly non-human, with a clicking quality beneath the translation. Confirmation that the human vessel has been neutralized. Their systems are failing as planned. A second voice replied, "Excellent. The Council will be pleased. These humans advance too quickly. Another century of isolation should keep them contained until we're ready to deal with them properly." The bridge fell silent as the transmission ended. Jack looked around at his crew, seeing the same realization dawn on all their faces. "They set us up," Diane said quietly. "This whole diplomatic mission was just to get us out here alone." Jack's jaw tightened. "Communications, what's our status? Can we send a warning to Earth?" Alex shook his head. "Long-range comms are completely down, sir. Even if we could send a message, it would take weeks to reach home." "And rescue?" Jack asked, already knowing the answer. "We're off all charted routes now," Diane replied. "Even if they send ships looking for us, they won't know where to search. We're on our own." Dr. James Reynolds, the ship's medical officer, stepped onto the bridge. "Captain, at the current rate of oxygen depletion, we have approximately 72 hours of breathable air. That's assuming we can keep the scrubbers running at all." Jack stood still for a long moment, feeling the weight of 120 lives on his shoulders. Then something shifted in his expression. "Chief Reed," he called over the comm. "You said these nanobots are technology you've never seen before, correct?" "Yes, sir. Far beyond anything we have." "Then they've made a critical mistake," Jack said. "They didn't just try to kill us. They handed us their technology in the process." He turned to address the entire bridge crew. "I want every scientist and engineer on this ship working on capturing and analyzing these nanobots. If they can break our systems, we can learn how they work." "Captain," Marcus protested, "we don't have time for a research project. We need emergency repairs." "We're going to do both, Mr. Black," Jack cut him off. "Lisa, focus your team on keeping life support and basic systems running. Science teams will work on the nanobots." Jack activated the ship-wide comm. "Attention all crew of the UES Resilient. By now you know we've been attacked, sabotaged by those who invited us here under the guise of peace. They wanted to strand us here to die, to send a message that humans don't belong among the stars." He paused, letting his words sink in. "But they made one critical error. They wanted to break our ship. Fine. We'll just have to build something better. From this moment, we are not just fighting for survival. We are going to take what they used against us and turn it into our salvation. And when we're done, we're going to show them exactly what humans do when backed into a corner." As he finished speaking, Jack noticed something out the viewport. Strange patterns of light in the space they were drifting into, radiation or energy unlike anything in their charts. "Mr. Foster, record and analyze the phenomena," he ordered, pointing to the viewport. "It might be nothing, but right now we need every advantage we can find." Jack looked around the bridge at his crew, their faces showing a mixture of fear and determination. "We have 72 hours to defy death." Lisa Reed hadn't slept in 36 hours. Her hands were steady as she worked, but dark circles had formed under her eyes. The engine room of the UES Resilient had become a hive of frantic activity as crew members worked to keep the dying ship alive. "Chief, you need to see this," called Tom Wilson, her assistant engineer. He was hunched over a workbench, a captured nanobot trapped in a magnetic containment field. Lisa joined him, peering at the microscopic machine. "What am I looking at?" "It's not just destroying our systems," Tom explained, his voice rising with excitement despite their dire situation. "It's scanning them first, sending the data somewhere before it attacks." Lisa's tired mind suddenly sharpened. "They're not just trying to kill us. They're studying us." She tapped her comm badge. "Captain Morgan, we have something." On the bridge, Jack listened as Lisa explained her discovery. Oxygen levels had stabilized at 40% of normal, enough to survive, but everyone was feeling the effects. Moving was harder. Thinking was harder. "So they're gathering intelligence while they destroy us," Jack said. "Can we use that somehow?" "Maybe," Lisa replied. "The nanobots have to be communicating with each other, and sending data outward, if we can crack their transmission method. Do it, Jack ordered. And Lisa, the quantum computer in the science lab, was shielded against radiation. It might have survived the attack. Use it if you need to. As the communication ended, Jack turned to Science Officer Emma Wright. What about the energy patterns outside the ship? Any progress? Emma nodded, her movements slightly sluggish in the oxygen-thin air. It's unlike anything we've encountered before, Captain. The radiation interacts with certain metals in our hull in ways that defy our understanding of physics. It's almost like... Like what? Jack prompted when she hesitated. Like it's alive. Emma finished. Not sentient, but reactive, changing in response to our presence. Jack stared at the viewport where the strange lights pulsed outside. Could we harness it somehow? Emma blinked in surprise. I don't know. Maybe? But that would require completely redesigning our power systems. Start working on it, Jack said. Right now, impossible ideas are all we've got. In the science lab, Lisa and Tom had commandeered the quantum computer. A dozen captured nanobots were suspended in containment fields around them as the computer ran analysis protocols. This is insane, Tom muttered, staring at the results on the screen. These things operate using quantum entanglement. They're communicating instantly across space. No delay, no signal that can be blocked. Lisa leaned closer to the screen. That's technology we theorized but couldn't build yet. And look at how they manipulate energy at the subatomic level. They're not just machines. They're like tiny reality manipulators. The door slid open, and Marcus Black entered. Please tell me you have good news. Lisa looked up, a strange light in her eyes despite her exhaustion. Better than good. We've been asking the wrong question. We've been asking how to destroy these nanobots. But what we should be asking is, how do we make them work for us? Marcus frowned. What are you talking about? These machines are decades ahead of our technology, Lisa explained. But we can understand them. And if we can understand them, we can copy them. Tom finished, a slow smile spreading across his face. Captain Morgan had called an emergency meeting in the briefing room. Around the table sat his senior officers, all showing signs of fatigue, but all... Let me make sure I understand, Jack said, looking at Lisa. You think we can reprogram these nanobots? Not exactly, Lisa replied. They're too complex for that, but we can use them as templates to create our own version. The quantum computer has already mapped their basic structure. With some modifications, we could build nanobots that repair instead of destroy. And I've been analyzing that strange radiation, Emma added. It responds to electrical fields in a way that could potentially be harnessed for power. If we could develop a new kind of energy collector, how long would all this take? Jack asked. Lisa and Emma exchanged glances. Under normal circumstances. Years, Lisa admitted. But we don't have years. We have about 36 hours of oxygen left. So it's impossible, Marcus said flatly. Not impossible, Lisa countered. Just highly improbable. But we have one advantage. What's that? Diane asked. We're human, Lisa said simply. When have we ever let impossible stop us? Jack stood up, his decision made. We're not just making repairs anymore. We're rebuilding this ship from the inside out. I want every crew member with engineering or scientific knowledge working on this project. Captain, Dr. Reynolds protested. People are already exhausted from the oxygen deprivation. Pushing them harder could be dangerous. Being dead is also dangerous, Doctor, Jack replied grimly. But you're right. Set up a rotation. 4 hours on, 2 hours rest, and increase the oxygen levels in the work areas as much as possible. As the meeting broke up, Jack held back Lisa and Emma. He pulled a small object from his pocket, a smooth stone with swirling patterns. This was given to me by my grandfather, he said quietly. He flew the first manned mission to Mars. He told me that space will always find new ways to kill you, but humans will always find more creative ways to live. He placed the stone on the table between them. They gave us the knife they meant to kill us with, he said, examining the holographic model of the captured nanobots floating above the table. Let's use it to carve our way home. The next 24 hours aboard the Resilient became a blur of activity. The ship's corridors, normally neat and orderly, were now strewn with opened panels and exposed circuitry. Crew members passed tools back and forth, their conversations a mix of technical jargon and desperate brainstorming. In the engine room, Lisa had set up what she called a nanoforge, using the ship's 3D printing systems, modified with parts from the medical bay's molecular synthesizers. The quantum computer ran continuous simulations, testing and refining designs for their own nanobots. Tom had taken a different approach, stripping the propulsion system down to its most basic components and rebuilding it to interact with the strange radiation outside. His small team worked in environmental suits, making modifications to the ship's exterior hull. On the bridge, Emma coordinated the various teams, while Jack moved throughout the ship, offering encouragement and making quick decisions when different departments disagreed on priorities. By hour 30, the first batch of human-made nanobots was ready for testing. Lisa placed them on a damaged circuit board from one of the life support systems. "Moment of truth," she said, activating the tiny machines. Everyone in the room held their breath as the nanobots went to work. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the microscopic machines began to move, surrounding the damaged areas of the circuit. Metal began to flow like water, components realigned, and before their eyes, the dead circuit board came back to life. Lisa looked up at Jack with exhausted triumph in her eyes. "It works." For the first time in days, Jack Morgan. "This isn't a repair job anymore," Lisa announced to the gathered engineering team. "We're completely rebuilding the Resilient from the inside out." 5 days had passed since the sabotage. The immediate danger of suffocation had passed. Their newly created nanobots had restored basic life support to full capacity. But Captain Morgan wanted more than just survival. In the main cargo bay, now converted into their central workshop, a holographic model of the ship floated in the air. Different sections glowed with different colors, showing progress on their transformation. "The navigation and propulsion systems are our priority," Lisa continued. "Tom's team has made significant breakthroughs with the radiation harvesting technology." Tom stepped forward, his face tired but excited. "We're calling it void energy for now. It's like nothing we've seen before. The strange radiation outside the ship responds to electrical fields, almost like it's attracted to them. We've built collectors that can pull it in and convert it to usable power." "How much power?" asked Jack, who was standing at the back of the room. Tom smiled. "Based on our tests, about 5 times what our original engines could produce. And that's just the beginning." A murmur of excitement rippled through the gathered crew. For the first time, they weren't just fighting for survival, they were creating something revolutionary. In the communications lab, Alex Foster worked with a small team to implement Lisa's most ambitious idea, a new communication system based on the quantum entanglement principles they discovered in the alien nanobots. "If this works," Alex explained to Jack during his inspection, "we'll be able to communicate instantly across any distance. No delay, no signal that can be intercepted or blocked." "Will it work?" Jack asked, studying the complex equipment spread across the lab tables. "In theory, yes. In practice," Alex shrugged. "We're doing in days what might have taken Earth decades to develop, but the principles are sound." Jack nodded thoughtfully. "Keep at it. If we can send a warning to Earth about the Valen's true intentions, we'll be saving lives," Alex finished. Not everyone embraced the rapid changes. In the security office, Marcus Black voiced his concerns to the captain. "We're moving too fast," he argued. "These technologies haven't been properly tested. The nanobots, this void energy, we don't fully understand them yet. We don't have the luxury of time for proper testing." Jack replied. Every day we stay here increases the chance that the Valen will send ships to confirm our destruction. And what happens if these new systems fail catastrophically? Marcus pressed. What if the nanobots decide to turn against us? What if this radiation we're harvesting has unforeseen effects? Jack placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder. Your caution is noted and appreciated, Marcus. But sometimes the greater risk is in not taking a risk at all. In the medical bay, Dr. Reynolds had similar concerns. He showed Jack the results of his tests on crew members who had been working with the void energy. There are subtle changes in their cellular activity, he explained. Nothing harmful so far. In fact, their cells show increased energy and regenerative capabilities. But it's change, and change we don't fully understand. Jack studied the medical scans. Monitor it closely. At the first sign of actual harm, we'll reassess. Captain, the doctor said hesitantly, there's something else. The ship itself, it's changing in ways that go beyond our modifications. Explain. The nanobots are learning. They're not just following their programming anymore. They're adapting, finding more efficient ways to integrate the new systems. The ship is becoming, well, I don't have a better word for it than alive. Jack was silent for a long moment. Is it a threat? No, Reynolds said quickly. It seems more like symbiosis. The ship is responding to our needs, almost before we articulate them. Jack nodded slowly. Then we'll continue. But keep watching, Doctor. Keep watching very carefully. By the 10th day, the transformation was nearly complete. The UES Resilient didn't just look different, it felt different. The walls hummed with energy. Lights responded to crew members' presence without commands. The ship moved through space with a grace it had never possessed before. On the bridge, Jack called a meeting of his senior officers to discuss their next steps. The void energy propulsion system is fully operational, Lisa reported. Based on our calculations, we could reach Earth in a fraction of the time it would have taken with our original engines. The quantum communication system is online as well, Alex added. We've sent test signals. Our defensive capabilities have exceeded all expectations, Marcus said, his earlier caution now tempered with amazement. The energy shields derived from the void radiation can withstand impacts and energy weapons far beyond anything we previously could handle, and the ship itself is becoming more responsive, Emma noted. The integration of our nanobots throughout all systems has created a kind of distributed intelligence, not exactly an AI, but something new. Jack took in all the information, then stood up and walked to the viewport. Outside, the strange radiation patterns danced around the ship like living light. We came out here to establish first contact with the Valen, he said quietly. Instead, we've achieved something far more significant. The next evolution of human space travel. He turned back to his officers. I believe it's time we give this ship a new name to match its new nature. From this moment on, we are no longer the UES Resilient. What shall we call her, Captain? Asked Diane. Jack smiled. Phoenix. The UES Phoenix, because we have risen from our own destruction. What's our course, sir? The navigation officer asked. Jack considered for a moment. The logical choice was to return to Earth immediately with their revolutionary technology and warning about the Valen threat. But something else tugged at him, a sense that their journey wasn't complete yet. Set a course that will intercept the Valen patrol routes, he finally decided. Before we go home, I want the people who tried to kill us to see exactly what they created instead. A tense silence fell over the bridge. Then, one by one, the officers nodded in agreement. Engage the void drive, Jack ordered. Let's show the galaxy what happens when you try to eliminate humanity. The ship, now the UES Phoenix, hummed with power. The new engines glowed with unearthly light, drawing in the surrounding radiation. Then, in a flash of brilliance that would have been impossible just days before, the Phoenix leaped forward into the darkness, faster than any human vessel had ever traveled. They weren't running home to safety. They were flying toward their would-be killers, not for revenge, but for justice and recognition. The message was clear. Humanity would not be confined, contained, or eliminated. They would simply adapt, evolve. "Multiple ships detected at the edge of our sensor range," announced Emma from her science station. "Configuration matches Valen warships." It had been 2 days since the Phoenix had set course for the Valen patrol routes. The ship had performed beyond all expectations, its new void energy drive carrying them smoothly through space at speeds that would have been impossible before. Captain Jack Morgan stood from his command chair and moved to the main view screen. "How many?" "5 vessels, Captain. One appears to be a command ship, significantly larger than the others." Jack turned to Alex at the communication station. "Are they transmitting anything?" Alex adjusted controls on his panel. "Yes, sir. Internal communications only, but our quantum receivers are picking them up." He paused, listening through his earpiece. They're talking about us, Captain. About the human problem. They're coming to verify our destruction." A tense silence fell over the bridge. This was the moment they had been waiting for, the confrontation with those who had tried to eliminate them. But now that it was here, Jack felt a flutter of doubt. Were they ready? Lisa's voice came over the comm system from engineering. "Captain, the Phoenix is responding to the Valen presence. Power levels are rising automatically in defensive systems. The ship is protecting itself," Diane murmured. Jack nodded. "Let's not rush in. Emma, can we mask our energy signature? Make ourselves look like debris or a natural phenomenon?" Emma worked quickly at her console. The void energy naturally distorts sensor readings. With some adjustments, yes, I believe we can appear as nothing more than space debris. "Do it," Jack ordered. "Let's see what they have to say about us when they think we can't hear them." The Phoenix hung silently in space, its systems powered down to minimal levels, its energy signature disguised. The 5 Valen warships moved closer, their sleek, angular forms cutting through the darkness like predatory fish. On the bridge, the crew waited in near darkness, only essential systems running. Alex listened intently to the Valen communications, relaying them in whispers to the captain. "The lead ship is Commander Thax's vessel. He's ordering the others to spread out in a search pattern. They're looking for confirmation of our destruction." Jack's expression hardened. This Commander Thax was clearly one of those responsible for the sabotage plot. "They're discussing debris patterns," Alex continued. "They expected to find more substantial remains of our ship." "Little do they know," Tom whispered from his station. The largest Valen ship passed within 1,000 kilometers of the Phoenix, close enough that they could see it clearly on their view screen. It was an impressive vessel, its hull covered in what appeared to be weapon ports and sensor arrays. "Incoming transmission from the Valen command ship to their fleet," Alex reported. "Decoding now." He put it on the bridge speakers, the translation system converting the alien language to English. "This sector is clear," came a cold, precise voice. "The human vessel must have drifted further than anticipated. Continue the search pattern. We must..." A second voice responded. "Commander Thax, sensors are detecting unusual energy patterns in this sector. It could be residue from their reactor breach." "Investigate it," ordered the first voice, "but maintain caution. If any portion of their ship remains intact, destroy it. The humans cannot be allowed to establish a presence in this part of space. Their technological development is already proceeding faster than anticipated." Jack turned to Marcus at the security station. "Record everything. We need evidence of their intentions." Marcus nodded grimly, his fingers moving over his console. "Another transmission," Alex announced. "This one is different. It's coming from one of the smaller ships." The new voice sounded younger, with a note of confusion. "Commander, I've reviewed the diplomatic directives from the Council. There's no mention of eliminating the human vessel. Our orders were to observe and report only." A tense pause followed. "Captain Nirok, Commander Thax replied with obvious irritation. Your ship was included in this mission because of your technical expertise, not to question orders. The full directive from the High Council is classified. You will follow my commands without further discussion. That's interesting, Jack murmured. Not everyone in their fleet knows the truth about this mission. Sir, Emma called urgently from her station. One of their scout ships is approaching our position. They're using active scans. If they get much closer, our camouflage won't hold. Jack made his decision instantly. Alex, establish a quantum link to Captain Nirok's ship only. Lisa, bring power systems to full readiness, but don't engage yet. Captain, Marcus protested, we should maintain our cover until... They're going to find us anyway. Jack cut him off. I want to control how that happens. Alex worked frantically at his station. Quantum link established to the smaller Valen vessel. Channel open. Jack took a deep breath. Captain Nirok of the Valen fleet. This is Captain Jack Morgan of the Earth vessel Phoenix. We know the truth about your mission here. We have recorded Commander Thax's orders regarding our elimination. There was no immediate response, just a long silence. Then, human vessel. How are you still functioning? Our sensors showed catastrophic system failures throughout your ship. We adapted, Jack replied simply. We survived your sabotage, Captain Nirok. And in doing so, we discovered things about ourselves, and about the Valen leadership, that we never would have known otherwise. Another voice broke in, the cold, precise tones of Commander Thax. All vessels, battle formations. The human ship has somehow survived. Destroy it immediately. Jack could hear alarms blaring in the background of Nirok's transmission. Human captain, you must flee. You cannot withstand our weapons. We're not running, Jack said firmly. But we're not here for revenge either. We want the truth to be known. Your commander acted without full council approval, didn't he? Not all Valen want war with humanity. Before Nirok could respond, Emma shouted from her station. Energy buildup on the Valen command ship. They're charging weapons. Lisa, Jack called over the comm. Time to show them what Phoenix can do. The ship hummed to life around them, void energy flowing through its systems. The lighting returned to normal, and displays showed power levels rising far beyond their original specifications. Defensive shields at maximum, Marcus reported. New weapon systems online. The Valen command ship fired, a beam of intense energy slashing across space toward the Phoenix. It struck the shields and dissipated harmlessly, absorbed by the void energy field surrounding the ship. A collective gasp went up from the bridge crew. Their shields had worked even better than the simulations predicted. Our turn, Jack said quietly. Target their weapon systems only. Minimal power. We're making a point, not starting a war. Marcus entered the commands, and the Phoenix responded. A pulse of concentrated void energy shot from the ship, striking the Valen command vessel with surgical precision. Their main weapon port went dark immediately. Their weapons are offline, Marcus reported with satisfaction. No other damage to their ship. Open a channel to all Valen vessels, Jack ordered. When Alex nodded that the channel was open, Jack spoke clearly and calmly. This is Captain Jack Morgan of the UES Phoenix. We were invited to your space for diplomatic talks. Instead, we were sabotaged and left to die. But what your leadership didn't understand is that humanity doesn't break when faced with destruction. We transform. He paused, letting his words sink in. We have disabled your weapons as a demonstration, not as an act of war. We are transmitting evidence of Commander Thax's true orders regarding our elimination. Review it for yourselves. Then decide what kind of relationship the Valen truly want with humanity. As he finished speaking, the Phoenix's sensors detected new energy readings from the Valen fleet. Two of the smaller ships, including Captain Nirok's, were powering down their weapons. The other two remained in attack formation around the command. The bridge of the Phoenix was silent as the crew watched the Valen fleet split into two groups. Captain Niruk's ship and one other had moved away from Commander Thax's vessels, clearly distancing themselves from his actions. "Sir," Alex reported from communications, "we're receiving a transmission from Captain Niruk." Jack nodded. On screen, the main view screen flickered to life, showing the alien captain. The Valen were humanoid, but with striking differences. Iridescent blue skin, large eyes with horizontal pupils, and bony ridges where hair would be on a human. "Captain Morgan," Niruk said, his voice translated through the ship's systems. "My crew and I have reviewed your evidence. Commander Thax acted without full council approval. This sabotage was not authorized." Jack studied the alien carefully. "And yet it happened. Your people tried to kill mine." Niruk lowered his gaze in what seemed like a gesture of shame. "Yes, and for that, there is no adequate apology. But you should know that Thax represents only one faction among our leadership, those who fear your kind's rapid advancement." "Captain," Marcus called out suddenly, "the command ship is powering up secondary weapons." Before Jack could respond, a barrage of energy blasts shot from Thax's vessel toward the Phoenix. The ship's shields flared bright with absorbed energy, but held firm. The other two Valen ships in Thax's group also opened fire. "No damage," Lisa reported from engineering. "Our shields are actually growing stronger. They're adapting to the attack patterns and frequencies." Jack's expression hardened. "Return fire. Target their propulsion systems this time." The Phoenix responded instantly, void energy weapons striking all three attacking ships with precision. Their engines flared and went dark, leaving them drifting in space. "They're disabled but intact," Marcus confirmed. "Life support and basic systems still functioning." Jack turned back to the still open communication with Niruk. "We could have destroyed them. Remember that." Niruk nodded slowly. "Your restraint is unexpected, and your technology, it far exceeds our understanding of human capabilities." "That's the point you missed," Jack replied. "Humans don't advance on a predictable timeline. When pushed, we leap forward. You tried to eliminate us because you feared our potential. But in doing so, you only accelerated what might have taken us decades to achieve on our own." A new transmission cut in. Commander Thax, his face contorted with rage. "This changes nothing. The Council will send more ships. Your single vessel, no matter how advanced, cannot stand against our entire fleet." Jack simply smiled. "We don't need to." "Alex, send the package." Alex tapped a series of commands on his console. Quantum data package transmitted to all Valen worlds and outposts. "What have you done?" Thax demanded. "We've shared everything," Jack explained calmly. "The evidence of your unauthorized sabotage. The schematics of our new technology, not detailed enough to replicate, but enough to prove what we've accomplished. And most importantly, our offer of peaceful cooperation despite your attempt to destroy us." Thax's face paled to a lighter blue. "You can't have transmitted to all our worlds simultaneously. The distances. Instant communication across any distance." Jack cut him off. "Just one of the things we learned from studying your nanobots. Your sabotage gave us the keys to technologies your people are still developing." Niruk's voice came back over the comm. "Captain Morgan, I am receiving messages from the High Council. They are disturbed by the evidence. Commander Thax is ordered to stand down immediately." On the view screen, they could see Thax's ship powering down its remaining weapons. The commander's face showed a mixture of disbelief and defeat. "What happens now?" Jack asked. "The Council requests a proper diplomatic meeting," Niruk replied. "They are sending representatives not associated with Thax's faction. They offer safe passage and formal recognition of Earth as an independent power." Jack looked around at his crew. Each face showed the same mixture of pride and caution. "We accept," Jack said finally. "But the meeting will take place on neutral ground, not on a Valen world. And as a show of good faith, I expect Commander Fax to face consequences for his actions." "Agreed," Narok said. "I will personally ensure." 3 days later, the Phoenix hovered near a small neutral outpost that served as a trading hub for several species. In a large meeting chamber, Captain Morgan and his senior officers sat across from 5 Valen Council representatives. Commander Fax was notably absent, having been removed from his position and detained pending a formal inquiry. "We misjudged humanity," admitted the lead counselor, an elderly Valen with deep blue skin. "Or rather, some among us did. We saw your rapid technological advancement as a threat rather than an opportunity. It nearly became a self-fulfilling prophecy," Jack pointed out. "By trying to eliminate us, you forced us to advance even faster." The counselor nodded. "A lesson we have learned at great cost. The technology your ship now possesses, particularly the void energy manipulation and quantum communication, is beyond even our most advanced theoretical research." "Which brings us to the main point of these talks," Diane said. "You wanted to contain humanity because you feared our potential. Now that potential has been realized ahead of schedule, where does that leave us?" The counselors exchanged glances before their leader spoke again. "It leaves us with a choice: continue down the path of fear and competition, which would likely lead to conflict, or forge a new path of cooperation and mutual advancement." "And which do you choose?" Jack asked simply. "We choose cooperation," the counselor replied. "Not just because we have seen your capabilities, but because we have seen your character. You could have destroyed Thax's ships. You could have used your new technology to threaten our worlds. Instead, you showed restraint and offered peace despite our aggression." Jack smiled slightly. "That's the other thing you misjudged about humanity. We're not just adaptable and inventive. We genuinely prefer friends to enemies." The lead counselor extended a 4-fingered hand across the table. "Then let us be friends, Captain Morgan. There is much our peoples can learn from each other." As Jack shook the alien's hand, he felt the weight of the moment. What had begun as a simple diplomatic mission, turned into a fight for survival, had now come full circle, but with humanity entering the galactic community not as newcomers to be watched and contained, but as equals to be respected. 1 month later, the Phoenix returned to Earth orbit. As the blue-green planet filled the view screen, the crew gathered on the bridge for Jack's address. "We left Earth in a ship that represented the best of human technology," Jack said, looking around at the faces of his crew. "We return in a vessel that represents something far greater, the best of the human spirit, our adaptability, our resilience, our ability to transform disaster into opportunity." He gestured to the viewport, where Earth hung like a jewel against the blackness of space. "What we bring back will change everything, not just technology, but a new understanding of our place in the galaxy. The Valen tried to keep us confined to our corner of space because they feared what we might become." Jack smiled. "They were right to be afraid, but not because we're a threat. Because when humanity reaches for the stars, we don't just adapt to the universe. We transform it,